Before I invested a bunch of time and money in trying to build a 3D printer that I had no idea how to build, I figured it would probably be a wise idea to get some of the basic skills requisite for it. And with a little bit of research, I found that one of the best systems was Arduino, and so it's a microcontroller that you can get just about any kind of spare part you can imagine, from motors to solar cells to you can build a cell phone with it if you want. You could be able to turn your dryer on from your phone. I mean, you can do pretty much anything you can think of if you know how to do it. You can make a taser with it. So it's pretty cool stuff anyway, but it's fairly technical. But it's definitely good to have at least a basis in something like that. Know a little bit of code, know how to manipulate code, may not write it yourself, know how to solder, the very basics of, source, draw, configuration, electronics in general. And this is what the Arduino controller board looks like. It's just the chip itself. I have it mounted on that plexiglass with what's called a prototyping board. It has connections that go laterally. They're separated up and down, I believe, and so it allows you to make temporary connections to check whether the circuit that you're building is viable before you start soldering. You can even leave it that way indefinitely sometimes, depends on what you're doing. It's not very good for information if it's not soldered, but it's not in my experience. I want to say it's a 16 megahertz processor. It's slow in relative terms for today's computing, but believe it or not, you can control a 3D printer with this. I mean, we'll still need some accessories to actually power the motors, but as far as the basic computing power, that's all you need. It'll do all kinds of stuff. Let's see. It interfaces with your computer through just a USB-B to USB-A or whatever. I mean, you can have these things set up with Bluetooth or whatever. Depends on which version you buy. This is the baseline version 1, which you can get. It depends on the brand, for $15 to $40, depends on whether you buy a name brand one. You can get one that has a built-in Bluetooth and with a GSM card, or all kinds of stuff. See, this is what your basic interface looks like whenever it doesn't have anything loaded up, and that is the code for my printer right now. It's pages and pages and pages and pages and pages. Well, if I can get it to do anything. Well, it literally just pages and pages that you have to go through, potentially, especially if you have an error. Something as simple as a comma instead of a colon, or forgetting a comma or colon. Those are the things I've had, or not having something capitalized. Like, those capitalizations are very important. The actual organization of it isn't so much, but see, those are the kind of things that you need to know how to do before you start trying to customize 40 or 50 pages of code, or you will be lost in it, and it will, unless you're just very lucky or very, very smart, because it was extremely frustrating digging through those things looking for a tiny little error. So that's the basis of some of the things you might want to be familiar with.